Dr. Wagdi, am I audible to you?
Yes, okay. You want to start right now?
Yes, sir. I'll just, yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
2 minutes. I will plug my phone in the charger and be ready. Just 2 minutes, okay?
Yeah, you may reshare it in a couple minutes, sir. I'll just introduce
Okay.
you to the audience once.
Okay, okay.
Right. Hello, and a very warm welcome to one and all joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by the very renowned and the very regarded Dr. Muhammad Wagdi. Sir, I welcome you on the behalf of the entire team of the World Implant Expo, and it's indeed a pleasure to have you on board. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Wagdi is the Associate Professor of Periodontology and Implantology in Egypt. He's the Associate Fellow of the American Academy of Implant Dentistry and is a specialist in periodontology and implantology in UAE. Dr. Wagdi will be adding to the credits of the World Implant Expo in Kochi later this year. So it's wonderful to have you on board, and I'm sure everyone is looking forward to learning from you as you'll be sharing your insights on the socket shield procedure this evening.
Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction. And just want to welcome all my friends and colleagues, dentists in India and from all over the world. I'll just need just 1-2 minute maximum to plug my phone in the charger, and then I will join you to have a beautiful discussion about the socket shield technique. Thank you. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, sure, sir.
And now or not?
Right, sir. Now it's visible.
It's visible? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Today I'll speak about a topic called socket shield, or maybe you can hear about another name which is called partial extraction therapy. It's a technique used for immediate implant placement to save as much of the labial plate of bone as possible, and for sure to preserve the soft tissue profile after extracting the tooth. We all know that there is some biomechanics and wound healing concept that we should respect when placing the implants. All of us know that there is spaces between the implant, the 3 millimeter rule between the implant and another implant, 1.5 millimeter between the implant and the tooth for blood supply of the bone. And the zenith point, or the space between the cement enamel junction of the adjacent teeth and the platform of the implant, or the platform of the fixture. All of these rules we should respect because we want to maintain as much as blood supply as possible to the surrounding bone of the implant, which is more important than the width of the implant and the diameter and the length of the implant, which is in modern dentistry or modern implantology, we don't care about anymore about the diameter of the implant and the length of the implant. We care about how much you save the bone and soft tissue around each implant. As much as you save, as much as you will have for a long lifespan and predictability of your implant. After you extract the tooth, you have a series of events like blood clot organization, fill and organization, and then fibril network formation, and then resorption of the bundle bone, which is only created to being a mean of attachment for the periodontal ligaments. For that reason, after extracting and removing the periodontal ligaments, there is no reason for the bundle bone to stay around, so it should be resorbed by the osteoclastic activity. Then the macrophage and neutrophil fill the space and use the fibril network to move all around the socket to debride the bacteria and make a debridement for the necrosis and the debris of the osteoclastic activity. And then the osteoblasts fill the space to lay down osteoid tissue. And then this osteoid tissue have needed calcification to be calcified and organized later on to be a complete mature bone. There is a study which is very important study reported that healing process itself results in 50% loss of the tissue-lingual volume of the socket through the first year only. The facial aspect share more than 2%, two-thirds of this total loss of the volume, and coronal reduction of 0.8 millimeter after 3 months of healing also observed facially. This is Ropital in 2003, which is a very, very important research, because according to this research, and a lot of researchers followed this one, we can understand that after extraction, we have a severe loss and collapse of the bone and the soft tissue. Especially in the aesthetic area, we will face a big problem. So the concept of immediate implant placement emerged just to make saving for the labia plate of bone. Of the labia plate of bone is the periodontal ligament, then number 2 is the periodontium, then the intra-alveolar arteriole. Specifically in the upper aesthetic area, the cervical two-part, the coronal two-part, two-thirds of the labia plate of bone is comprised only from the bundle bone and the cortical bone, with a very, very limited, if any, cancellous bone. So it depends only on the periodontium and the periodontal ligament. After extracting the tooth and removing the periodontium, you are compromising the blood supply of this labia plate of bone, so it collapses immediately, and there is collapse of the soft tissue that follow the collapse of the bone. So at the first, we thought that making immediate implant and placing the implant inside the freshly extraction socket benefit from the healing capacity and healing power from the fresh extraction of the socket, and placing bone graft, and the dilemma between placing bone graft in the gap distance or the jumping distance alone, and then it's over. We should augment the area if you are doing immediate implant placement. All these dilemmas, we saw that the first, according to Aradi in 1998, that this measure that enhance the aesthetic outcome with immediate implant protocol, and claimed during this paper, according to this paper, that such approach resulted in minimal facial interproximal formation. But contrary to this study, according to Sen in 2009, he believes that the current literature warn of expected aesthetic failure and several soft and hard tissue factors should be considered before applying such a protocol, which is immediate implant placement. Okay, what about this new technique called the socket sheet? Actually, it's not very new technique. It's a little bit, the concept is an old one. It's 1963 by Bjorn. Root submersion is very old technique, proven, confirmed regeneration of alveolar bone around endodontic retreated teeth that were submerged and covered by flap. And this at this time, there was like, if you face ankylosed tooth and you do an augmentation, an endo treatment, and you cannot remove these tooth because of the ankylosis inside the bone. So he found that if there is no infection and I do endodontic retreated, there is no need to compromise the bone around these tooth and make a destructive procedure. So I will do an endo treatment and cover the tooth with a flap. And he just said, let's wait and see. And nothing happened. It was successful, no resorption, no inflammation, no infection, nothing happens. And then the root submergence technique developed by Salaman in 2009, Salaman brothers, 2007, reported that if you have a pontic area and you know that after extracting the tooth and you are decided to make a bridge, after a while, maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 years, you will have resorption in the beneath the pontic area because there is no load inside the bone, and we all know that the bone loves the compressive stresses, so it resorbs and collapses soft tissue, and there is a static failure in this area. So they decided to make end treatment of these hopeless tooth and then cover it with soft tissue grafting, and then it helps to preserve the volume of the bone and the soft tissue over it. And then the Verbrana and Smuchler in 2009 reported that if you accidentally make an implant placement and then hit the roots of the tooth beside this area, like if you are doing which is I don't think that especially in the upper first premolar because of the curvature of the distal curvature of the line can go straight and
Hello, Dr. Wagdi. You're not audible, sir.
you said that you are in the root of the canine. This there is no big issue, no problem. There is no big problem. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sir, there is a break in your voice. Am I audible to you, sir?
Voice?
Yes, it's a little blurry. Can you make sure that the connection is good?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir, better. Yes.
Okay. So again, in this area, the Verbrana and Smuchler in 2009, they found no problem with accidentally placing the implant in contact with the root if you are accidentally hit the root of the adjacent teeth. So all this idea give a big clue for Marcus Schulzler in 2010 to bring out the idea of the socket sheet we are using nowadays, which is intentional preservation of the coronal buccal root portion that can help ensure physiological preservation of the labial and buccal bone structure if the implant is placed in contact with this natural tooth fragment, which is the sheet. By the way, there is two schools in the socket sheet: the school of the German school, which is the Marcus Schulzler, and the American school, which is the Salamas and the Hooglockman. Marcus Schulzler preferred to lock the implant inside the sheet or just in contact with the sheet, but Salamas and Hooglockman preferred to leave a space and augment the area between the implant and the sheet. Actually, I work the two techniques. There are two good techniques. You can work with the technique that you prefer and feel it's more comfortable. This is from the paper of Fussler 2010. He made like a case study and animal study. You can see here the hopeless teeth, upper left central. Here there is a fracture in the crown, just small part of the cementum, and then he extracted the palatal portion, prepare the labial shield, placing the implant in contact with the shield, and then you can see how beautiful is the soft tissue around this implant without the need for augmentation. And then he customized the ceramic abutment and final restoration. And about the animal study, you can see here in the slide that the implant is the contact with the sheet directly. That yes, the threads of the over the surface of the threads of the implant, new cementum formation. And here you can see the dentine, the new cemental formation, the cementoid tissues, the cementoplasm inside the lacunae, cementocyte. Okay, here all the new cemental formation, you can see clearly the new cemental formed over the dentine facing the implant. And this is how we can do socket sheet. It's a technique sensitive, but with practice, there's a learning curve. It's very simple in the same way. You can do it by two techniques. Either prepare the root mesio-distal to have this shape, mesio-distal preparation, or cutting mesio-distally till the apex, and then prepare the lingual part or palatal part of the sheet with a large root there to smoothing, and then placing the implant, and make sure to remove the apical portion because of the rarification of the pulpal canal. You don't need any pulpal tissues to make cause for you an infection in the future. Then extracting the palatal portion. In this case, I did it with a surgical guide, placing the implant in contact with the shield, placing healing abutment with, in these cases, to the mistake, placing a stock healing abutment. I should make a customized healing abutment. But let me show you a beautiful photo. This photo is after just 2 days. You can see the peripheral seal, tight seal around the healing abutment. And then I use directly impression techniques to have the impression to make a PMMA restoration with titanium base. And here you can see after follow-up, this follow-up is after 1 year. You can see the implant, the shadow of the sheet, which is equi. The sheet, I'm placing the sheet subcrestal ½ millimeter. Some practitioners make it equicrestal, some think subcrestal is 1 millimeter. I just prepare ½ millimeter subcrestal to support the crestal part, and at the same time to allow for peripheral seal and connective tissue attachment over the sheet to protect the sheets from the oral environment. And then here you can see radiographically after made a superimposition that you can see the implant, the sheath in place, and then the labia plate bone. This is the 3D construction, and this is a beautiful color coding sagittal section of the implant in place, then the bone graft, the shield, then the bone graft, the labia plate bone, and the soft tissue. This is a volumetric analysis. You can see that in the area of the sheet there is no bone or soft tissue resorption at all. And this is a comparison between the immediate implant placement without the sheet and immediate implant placement with the socket sheet. This photo is the immediate implant placement without the socket sheet. You can see that there is a ½ millimeter collapse of the soft tissue. But with the shield, I have the photo here. Yes, this is the shield. It's just 0.1 millimeter collapse of the soft tissue. And you can see clearly the implant, the shield, and then the labia plate bone and the soft tissue profile. This is another view You can see that barely there is no resorption. The resorption is because the blue line is the preoperative and the orange line is or red line is the postoperative scan of the soft tissue. There is no resorption or collapse of the soft tissue, and you can see the implant is in a very proper position, which is another thing I love about the socket sheet, that it forces you to go more palatally position, not angulation, more palatal position, which is favorable for a stress analysis because you are immediately under the cingulum, and it helps you for also doing screw retained restoration, which I love more than cement retained restoration. Here you can see how beautifully the soft tissue profile. It's a little bit, you see a stippling and the pre-gingival margin and the healthy line around the implant. You have to do a lot of work, a lot of soft tissue grafting, bulking of the soft tissue grafting, soft tissue to have just a beautiful stippling and profile as you have the surgical maneuver. And in this photo here, you can see the tight seal of the soft tissue or connective tissue around the implant, the peripheral seal around the implant, and you can see the hemidysmosomal detachment. When I remove the restoration just for checking and cleaning after the follow-up, 1 year follow-up, you can see here the arteriole and how healthy is this arteriole and how is the hemidysmosomal detachment was bleeding, which means that there was a tight attachment between the soft tissue and the abutment or the titanium base, and this gives you indication about how healthy and how is the vasculature of this area. Okay, what is the future of the socket sheet and what we are expecting from the socket sheet and what we need to know more about the socket sheet? We need the long follow-up to test the fate of this both fragment, because a lot of cases report that there is like the initiation of penetration of this sheet throughout the soft tissue, labia soft tissue, and it's easy to make the correction by raising a flap, smoothing the sheet, not removing, smoothing the sheet, placing connective tissue grafting, and then close the flap again. Histological study to make sure what is the exact nature of this tissue between the implant and the fragment. Not a little bit, we already made this study 1 year ago, and there was no statistical significant difference between the two groups, because a little bit locking, whether not locking, we have the same result in the bone thickness and in the soft tissue volume, but maybe some of them is a little bit risky, some of them more risky, like placing the implant in contact with the sheet is a little bit risky because you can make a crack, dislodge the root, but in another area, in the other group, you have to do another procedure, one step more, which is the augmentation. So it's preference. So at the end, also to know if you have to augment or not, according to myself, I believe that it's much easier to place the implant in contact with the sheet and not to augment the area. And thank you so much for your time, and I'm sorry for the disturbance we made at the beginning of the lecture, but please feel free to discuss any issue about this topic or any topic. I don't care. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a comprehensive and valuable webinar on socket shield procedure. I am sure that this webinar was source of such a precise information, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, but please, if any one of the guys want to ask about anything, let me know. I am available.
Yes, sir, there are a couple of questions. The first one being that do we need to remove the apical area of the tooth?
Excuse me, we need what?
Do we need to remove the apex, the infected apex of the tooth that is being left into
Yes,
place?
it's not infected. By the way, there is a rule to make to place a socket shield. One of them is the tooth should not be periodontally affected. The tooth should not be in acute infection periapically. If you have a chronic infection periapically, it's okay, but you know that chronic infection periapically, you may face a problem of fenestration or dehiscence buccally, so it's a little bit tricky. And at the end, you need to make sure 100% that you removed the apical part of the root, because in the apical 1/3 you may have a rarefaction, which is very, very risky for infection. So yes.
So we remove the entire tooth first and then slice it and place the buccal part of it back.
No. It's misunderstood. No. You remove you don't remove the tooth and bring it back again. All you can do is one of two methods. Either the one I showed that you can do by surgical burr mesiodistal cut.
Okay.
You can do a mesiodistal cut till the end of the apex, and then remove the palatal portion. Remove the palatal portion of the root fragment, and then smoothing the labial sheet and place the implant.
Okay, understood.
And the other method, which is the other method is much easier, which is using the drill of the implant directly to drill throughout the root.
Okay, understood, sir. Right,
So
understood.
you can imagine that if you drill through the root, you will remove a huge portion of the labial of the palatal part, and the apical portion will be completely destroyed.
Got it. Right. Got it, sir. Understood. And so one more question. How long does it take the implant to osseointegrate in the socket shield procedure, or is the time same?
The same exactly as the normal 3 months.
Okay.
Exactly as normal 3 months, and you can open and load your implant, or you start the prosthetic part.
Okay, understood, sir. And sir, one last question. In case we have a fenestration on the buccal side, then is socket shield a good is it a good option instead of bone grafts?
No, again, please. What's the question?
Sir, in case of fenestration, if we have a fenestration, then is socket shield a good compensation? Is socket shield a good compensation for bone grafts?
I think that in case of if you have if you take a cone beam CT and you found that you have dehiscence or fenestration of the labia plate of bone. It's one of the main indication of the socket shield. This is one of the main indication of the socket shield, because if you remove the root, you will transfer this type of the socket to type 2, which is a little bit challenging to augment. And it's better to leave the root fragment and then place, like you are considering the root fragment as the labia plate of bone.
Okay. Okay, sir. Understood. Sir, will the tooth fragment get resorbed with time, or will it be replaced by bone?
Till now, there is no paper supported this idea. We thought at the first that it's normal healing process, that the root will be resorbed, and then this root fragment will be resorbed and be replaced
with bone, but all the cases and all the papers from 2010, the root fragment stayed in place.
Okay. Okay, sir. Understood. Thank you so much, sir, for patiently answering all our doubts. And we are really looking forward to learning from you in Kochi this November. And as a concluding note, sir, do you have a message for the participants interesting to join you in Kochi this year?
Yes, thank you so much. And I would love to come to Kochi. It's my first time in India, and I know that it will be very interesting and helpful.
Sure,
For
sir.
all of
Thank
us.
you so much. We are really
Thank
looking
you.
forward to learning from you there, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Thank you for
You
coming in
too.
and sparing your valuable time, sir.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.